Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about the number 8 and all the tarot cards connected to it. I know I love these little dice. They are awesome. They don't exactly show up that well on video, but like the way the light hits it and stuff and the iridescent colors, it's just awesome. So we're going to set that aside and I'm going to get right to the cards to show you using the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now, the first one we always think of is right there with Strength. Strength is the card astrologically connected to Leo, and Leo being, in August, more than any other sign, or more than any other sign in the month of August, because it takes up the 1st all the way to about the 20th to 22nd. So that is the energy of this card, and maybe that's why Arthur Edward Waite, when creating the tarot with Pamela Coleman Smith, the Rider-Waite-Smith, when he wrote the pictorial key to the tarot, he made this the 8, and we have that energy there. Finding that internal strength is how I've always seen it, and 8 being the number of success and wealth, coming after the overcoming obstacles energy of the 7, shows we've driven our chariots, we've gotten behind the wheel, we faced the obstacles, overcome them, and now we found that strength to find success and wealth that we desire and deserve. So that's the energy I've always seen with the 8, and the and strength, showing that ability, to face those inner demons, to face those things that we feel us with doubt, learning from those experiences of the past with that infinity sign up there. The more we learn from the experiences, the more strength we find. That saying, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, is one of my favorite sayings of all time, because it has that energy, facing those things, overcoming the obstacles that we face, finding that strength and power within to believe in our worth, showing the world what we're made of. That's the energy of Leo itself, the fixed fire sign of the zodiac. This is the zodiac sign and the sun of so many celebrities, musicians, artists, actors, and everything have this sun sign and show that ability to stand on a stage and show the world what they're made of. That in itself has to have strength, to not be afraid to stand on a stage and have people cheering at you. Personally, I do not have that strength. The thought of actually standing on a stage, showing, just singing my heart out, or even having a million people staring at me, no, thank you. Not in this lifetime, not in the next, not in any other reality do I feel like I have that strength. But people like Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, Joe Elliott of Def Leppard, these men are in their senior years now, and they still have that ability to stand there and shine. It couldn't have been easy to get to that point. They had to struggle a little bit, right? We just never saw that. And today, they're still standing there. They faced those inner demons. They found that strength. And I feel like that is the energy right there of the strength card of the tarot relating to that number 8. Now, Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith weren't the first people to create a tarot deck. There were decks coming out before them, too. The Marseille Tarot, for example, that came out, I believe, close to around the 14th century. And that deck, is one that stands the test of time. Now, I bring this up because in that deck, the major arcana has strength as something else, and does number 11, and justice as number 8. So that's really interesting, and it's the only card that has this kind of energy. Now, I will say I have a few decks that this is not true about, like the Housewives Tarot. They have changed the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Emperor, I believe, and made them all a little bit different, of making them 2, 3, and 4. That would be for another video. Even in the Vintage Christmas Tarot I spoke a little bit about last week, that deck has the Lovers as a different number than 6. So the person coming up with these decks, the artist behind them, is the inspiration behind the deck. It's what they choose to do. And way back when, in the 1400s, I believe that was the case here with justice, as that 8. See, Roman numeral right there of 8, just like that number right there beside strength is 8. So we have that energy there of justice and strength being interchangeable. In Marseille Style Tarots, the justice would be 8, strength would be 11. So those energies there, 11 and 8, kind of have a lot to connect with, a lot of similarities that we can learn from. Take the energy of 11, for example. That's learning from those experiences of the past, finding that strength, double that of the original 1, showing all the lessons and knowledge that we have from the past. Those knowledges and experiences is what gives us that strength that can lead us to the success and wealth of the 8. Justice of the tarot is the card about balance, fairness. If life wasn't fair to us in the past, justice appearing is telling us that life can be fair to us moving forward. Now, like everything I see with the tarot, it's an internal thing. Tarot have never seen as a prediction of the future. This isn't, and I've had so many people say, oh, are you a fortune teller? I want you to tell my fortune. You know, I've had this happen. I've been able to like predict the future of a couple things. A friend of mine, like my nephew's wife, you know, she got a reading from me years ago, and that Empress came up in the middle position, which was the future position. And that, you know, suggested pregnancy. And she kind of looked at me and said, oh, hell no, that's not happening. Well, it was within the year she brought her son back on another Christmas Eve the following year. So I did actually predict a fortune and predict the future, but that's not how I see the tarot. The tarot is a self-reflection. It's looking into a mirror perhaps and seeing what you didn't know yourself. So justice as 8 kind of relates to strength as well, because when you're fair to yourself within, balanced within, life starts being more fair and balanced to you as well. And you find that fairness and balance, then you find that internal strength. And both of these can lead you to success and wealth in the future, like moving forward. But you have to be willing to work for it. You have to look deep within, face those inner demons, learn from those experiences, find that strength, to find that confidence, to be fair to yourself and balanced so that you can find that success and wealth that you deserve. You know, it doesn't matter which card comes in 8, which card comes in 11. It's that power, that internal strength to be fair to yourself. And when you're fair to yourself and you believe that justice will be served because you believe in your worth and find that confidence, then you found that strength to shine. So those are the 2 cards we think of the most with the major arcana when it comes to the number 8. But wait, there's more. I'll set these right up there and move up to the star. Yes, the star is related to 8 as well because it's that 17. See that XVII, I guess, in the Roman numerals there with the 17, 1 and 7 equals 8, right? So there is the star relating to success and wealth as well. You know, it combines the magician with the chariot. You know, you take action on your ideas, you drive yourself forward. In the major arcana sequence, the star is what follows the tower. Now that shows that power, that strength that we learn from the things that wanted to bring us down, the things that destroyed us, the things that we just, you know, didn't kill us, but actually made us stronger. Now, when it comes to the star and the tower sequence, I always kind of think of Pandora's box. You know, the gods thought it would be amusing, perhaps, to give this girl, Pandora, the gift of curiosity, threw her out into the world, and said, hey, here's a box. Don't open it. Of course, this girl's got curiosity. This could be Pandora herself. And she's not going to just hold the box. She's curious, right? So she has that curiosity and she opens the box. All hell breaks loose, chaos, everything like that. And, you know, they didn't know where to turn. But in the bottom of that box, one thing remains. And that one thing is hope. Hope is the star. Hope that life can be fair after everything that's been lost. Hope that we found that internal strength to just let go of the things that just didn't work out, didn't serve us in our higher selves, and find that star, that hidden talent within. And it's those hidden talents, that star power, that can lead us to that success and wealth that we desire and deserve. Now, what's interesting on the zodiac wheel, this is astrology connected to Leo, and this one is astrology connected to Aquarius. But here, with the energy of 8, they are connected. And opposites are very much connected in their own ways. There's similarities to them as much as there are differences. Like Leo, that is the energy that wants to shine. They want everybody looking at them. Aquarius energy, though, is kind of the behind the scenes. They want to make humanity a better place. They're focused on that happiness and humanity and wanting to make, you know, other people shine and for people to see. But they've got just as much power and just as much strength as a Leo. Little information there, you know, if you didn't know, it doesn't matter what your zodiac sign is. You have the power to shine too. When you believe in yourself, you find that fairness within, you believe life can be fair to you. You find your truth, find your power, overcome those obstacles that relate to the 7 by getting behind your chariot, a wheel of your chariot, driving yourself forward by facing those inner demons, learning from those experiences, those tower situations in the past, and you can find that strength to show the world what you're made of and find that power within that star that can find you success and wealth as well. So all of these energies of 8, they very much relate to success and wealth, because when we find that internal strength, when we're fair to ourselves, when we show the world what we're made of and find those hidden talents because of everything we've lost and we've learned from, we absolutely can lead ourselves to the success and wealth that 8 represents. So those are the major arcana cards connected to the energy of 8. But there's more, because there's the minor arcana too, of course. So we've got the 8 of Cups. Let's see, I'm going to have to do this, I believe. I'm going to leave strength up there. Yes, we'll set that like whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. Fancy. Okay, there's the 8 of Cups. the Eight of, let's do the Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and Eight of Swords. Now, I'd like to see these cards as the steps it takes to find that success and wealth. I'm going to have to just move these down here, I guess, so we have more space to see these. And I love the illustrations on these cards. Like, they're all connected there with that blue. You know, there, the star had that blue energy. Marseille Style Tarot, not exactly as, you know, that's why the Rider-Waite-Smith is popular, right? Because it's very much the illustrated pips right here. And there's the yellow and everything reminding us the creativity we possess that we can find success with as well. But here we have all that blue. And blue, I believe in the color schemes, relates to intuition, logic, trusting that inner voice. Now, like I said, I believe the eights kind of in the major or minor arcana, not major arcana, I believe they relate to the paths we get to find that success and wealth. You know, really quickly, we leave behind whatever anxiety, whatever doubt, whatever's keeping us from finding that success, from finding our worth. We deal with that stress that comes for shooting our ideas out, following our passions, see where they land so that we can find the success with them. It's hard work and effort that we put in, you know, practice makes perfect to find success. Of course, the Eight of Swords, the success can be ours when we don't let those minds overwhelm us. So they kind of go hand in hand here. The Eight of Cups, you know, that's the energy of the Eight of Cups, the Eight of emotional fulfillment and happiness, and the illustration very much shows the guy or the girl, you know, its back is turned, following their passion in the here and now. That's where the red comes from. That's where the red on the shoes come from. They're following their passion. And whatever has stopped them from believing in their worth in the here and now, they're leaving it behind. The moon in the background could very much show, you know, not burning any bridges in the process, leaving perhaps when everybody else is asleep so you don't cause any negative emotions. But I feel like more than anything, it's about those emotions. This is telling you, you know, focus on what fulfills you, what brings you with joy, and leave behind what doesn't. That can lead you to the success and wealth of the eight. Now, the Eight of Cups is astrologically connected to the first decan of Pisces. All of these are related to the mutable signs of the zodiac. There's a whole playlist, a whole thing of all the signs related to the zodiacs, and there's the signs related to, or the cards related to the planets as well. But the Pisces energy here, you know, mutable water. So what is causing us to feel negative? What is causing us to pull ourselves down into that ocean of emotion and not be able to see the way forward? If we doubt our success and wealth, if we doubt our ability there, if we believe that life isn't going to be fair to us and we can't find that confidence to be the stars of our stories, then we won't be able to go forward and find that success and wealth that we deserve. That's the energy here with the Eight of Cups. You know, find success by leaving behind what no longer emotionally satisfies us. Now, the Eight of Wands is astrologically connected to the mutable fire sign of zodiac, Sagittarius of the zodiac. So that energy there, you know, this is the only minor arcana card that doesn't depict another person. It shows those wands in motion. Now, there is an obstacle here, you know, just like this one had the doubt, the negative emotions, and everything like that. The obstacle here would be, you know, everybody wanting what we have to offer. You're good at something, you're passionate about something. You found that strength, you know, Leo energy to really face those inner demons, and other people want what you have to offer. Then things are going to get stressful. They're going to get annoying. They're going to get overwhelming at times. And I think that's the energy there of the 8, 9, and 10 of Wands, because it just shows things are starting to move forward. They're starting to move quickly too, and we might get overwhelmed by those things. But we mustn't forget, you know, we shot those wands for a reason. We followed our passion. In order to find that success and wealth of the 8, we've got to see where those wands lead us. We've got to keep going. We've got to not give up when things get stressful. You know, this is passion. This is fire. And Sagittarius energy remains optimistic to a fault. You know, we follow the truth. We listen to the truth, and we're not afraid to shoot for the stars. When we shoot for the stars, we let that passion go. We learn from the experiences, and we want to keep learning. So that energy there, the mutable fire sign of the zodiac connected to the 8, says don't be afraid to see where those wands can go. Don't be afraid of the energies, the people that want what we have to offer. Don't be afraid of that. Or if you are, you're never going to find the success that you deserve. So the success and wealth with the 8 of Wands says let that fire lead. We've left behind what no longer serves us, and we found what does, and we're going to see where those wands can lead us and find success in the process. Mutable earth energy with the 8 of Pentacles. So this is the first decan of Virgo. And if there's any sign of the zodiac that knows how to pay attention to the little details in order to find success and knows how to plan the best parties and everything, it's definitely a Virgo. And this is the hard work and effort card. This is the practice makes perfect. You look at all of these pentacles, each one is a little bit different than the last, because the more we work on what we're doing, the more we focus on perfecting it, the more success can be found with it. So this isn't about achieving success in the here and now. This is about working for it. Each of these, while relating to success and wealth, show the everyday aspects that come with having to work for what we want. And the more we're willing to work for it, the more effort we put in, the more we don't give up. Don't let those negative emotions hold us back. Don't let the stress and the worry about, having what other people want hold us back, and not worrying that we're gonna not succeed at it, letting that doubt creep in. By focusing and planning and perfecting our goals, that is going to lead us to that success and wealth of the 8. So the hard work and effort there, Virgo energy shows, pay attention to the little details. Keep working at it until we feel like we've done it correctly. We feel like we've got it right. And the more hard work and effort we put into it, the more fulfilling it will be when we actually achieve it. So these are very much, at least they seem to me, to be the steps in order to find that success and wealth that we deserve. That 8 energy, the 8th month of the year, that August energy, all the stuff that we've planted over the last few months. When it comes to gardens and things like that, this is the time when we start harvesting them, we start seeing that worth. That's why I think the sunflower is so popular in the month of August, because that energy there, that seed that we planted all those months ago, it's when they start growing those huge, beautiful sunflowers and all the other flowers and the plants and the vegetables and everything. It's that effort that we put in, that practicing, the planting, the paying attention to the little details that has led us to success with our harvests, and it can lead us to success with whatever we set our minds to. Now, the 8 of Swords is the final one in this minor arcana sequences, and there is the card of being a prisoner to our own minds, those inner demons filling us with doubt and anxiety. Astrologic connected to the mutable air sign of the zodiac, so each and every one of these minor arcana cards relate to the fact that we can change our situations, we can change our lives by leaving behind what no longer emotionally satisfies us, by finding the confidence to see those wands through, to offer what we want to offer to other people and people wanting it, to focus on what we need to practice, what we need to perfect. Putting in all that work and effort is the key to finding that success, believing we have what it takes, finding that internal strength to face our demons, being fair and balanced to ourselves, and being those stars we were born to be. The 8 of Swords is all about fixing that mind, believing in ourselves, not letting that mind overwhelm us. Just look at the illustration here. There's nothing holding her back. She's got the blindfold on so she doesn't see her way forward, letting that doubt and everything creep into her mind. She's got that ribbon and everything around her that if she were just able to shimmy a little bit, she could easily get that off. She could remove that blindfold and she would see that there is no one around and no swords in front of her to keep her from focusing on what she wants. And the way I have these set up is really cool because look, there's the red. There's the red. This could very much be the same character. Once she's taken off that blindfold, once she's removed that rope or whatever's around her and she sees that castle's far away, they're not paying any attention to her. They don't care. They're not focused on her. She needs to be focused on herself. She needs to trust herself and trust her mind. Leave behind those thoughts that she's not good enough, that doubt that keeps her a prisoner to her own mind. Leave it behind and be willing to work, and she's going to find that strength that she needs to be fair to herself and be the star of her story. This is the path that we need to take, my friends, in order to find the success and wealth that we deserve. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen by somebody else taking the reins. We have to overcome the doubt and the obstacles that stand in our way, free ourselves from those prisons of our minds. Be willing to work and put in the effort to grow our passions, grow our ideas so we can find that success. Once we find that success, keep going, because the more people see what we have to offer, the more people see our worth, the more success we're going to find. We just have to believe in ourselves, leave behind those negative emotions, Believe that life can be fair and balanced for us. Believe that we have the strength and the confidence to go after what we want, and find that star within to find the success and wealth that we deserve. There is the energy of the number 8 in my personal words and personal opinion. So at the same time, this is a message of finding that confidence and worth in yourself, believing in yourself, trusting that you have what it takes to be the success person in your life, be the star of your story. Find that internal strength. Show the world what you're made of. If life wasn't fair to you in the past, learn from those experiences and leave behind whatever negativity is holding you back. Stop feeling like you're a prisoner to your own mind. Work for what you want. That work will pay off when you don't give up. Therein is the energy of the 8. The decks that I've shared here with the Marseille Style Tarot is the Tarot Marseille Arcana. I got this at books a million years ago, I believe, for $8. So really, really awesome deal with that one. And then one of the most beautiful Rider-Waite Smiths I've ever seen is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot right here with the Rider-Waite Smith. So if you want either of those decks in your own collection, they should be available wherever tarot decks are sold. If you want a reading with either of these decks, I'll be happy to do that as well. Little heads up, like I said, the pips of the Marseille Style Tarot aren't that fun. You'd probably prefer the Rider-Waite Smith, but to each their own. I'd be happy to do that with any deck in my collection. If you are interested, comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website at CosmicCrowTarot.com. All of that will be in the description in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Believe you're worthy of success, my friends, and be fair to yourself, and life will start being fair to you as well. Let that lion roar, find that hidden talent, that star within, and work for what you want, and you can find that success you deserve. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.